Welcome back to the Best of Breakfast Leadership Show. This episode touches on why routines work. I am a huge advocate for routines. Some people say that's living in a rut, but for most, maybe not. For me, I find that my routines create consistency. It also helps keep me disciplined. It also is helpful when I do have motivation to do some things that I've got some routines in place to make it easier so I can continue through what I'm motivated to do and also finish things because so many of us are really good at starting things, but how many of us are good at finishing? And sometimes we get distracted, suffer from shiny object syndrome or disease, however you want to call it, and we don't finish through. And I think that's a big thing to look at when you are struggling with things like that is start looking at some routines, some consistency in your day. And when you do that, things tend to happen a little bit easier for you. So enjoy the episode.
This is the Breakfast Leadership Podcast. Boundaries or burnout, you make the choice. Here's your host, Michael Levitt.
I'm a person of routine. My keys are always in the same spot as my wallet, as everything else that I have. My clothes are standardized, so I don't have to think about what kind of shirt or undergarments I'm going to wear because they're all the same. Is that quote unquote boring? Sure. But you know what? For me, consistency plays a huge key in allowing me to think about the things that I truly should be thinking about and not thinking about, okay, what shirt should I wear today? What socks go with this tie? All of those other things. If you're consistent in your wardrobe, you save hours of your life every year because you're not trying on something going, it doesn't look right today or doesn't feel right today and all of that. Get clothes that fit. If you've got clothes in your closet you're going to wear when you drop those 20 pounds, here's my recommendation. Go donate them. It's not motivating you to lose the weight. I hate to be harsh, but you know what? It hasn't done it for me. So I donated those clothes, and now I'm on a path to losing weight. So guess what? I'm going to have to go buy new clothes. Well, going to help the economy one way or the other. Getting back to what I want to talk about is routines are important for you because when you follow routines and you do things and you set yourself up for success, it's going to make life a lot easier. Here's another example, as silly as it is. I've got a water filtration thing in our fridge. We don't have filtered water. We don't have a water line going through it, but I have this huge pitcher of water that I purposely make sure is full every night. So first thing in the morning before I go to the gym, I will fill up my water bottle and I'll have cold water filtered to work out with. And if I didn't fill that up, then in the morning, then I have to grab the pitcher, fill it up with water. It's not going to be cold. It's going to fill up in the pitcher. It won't be as good. But by me taking a minute or two the night before to set everything up for the next day, I start off each day without being in resistance to something. Because you're going to have enough resistance in your life. As soon as you get to work, I guarantee you're going to find some resistance, whether it's with a vendor, employees, management, the environment, traffic, air temperature. There's no office on the planet that is at the right temperature. It's either too hot or too cold. Doesn't matter who you are. So you're going to be fighting all day with these little nuances. Why should you have a nuance of not having your water bottle ready or your clothes picked out or everything that you choose? Habits are hard to implement, but as Eben Pagan says, you have to install a habit. Just like you install an app on your phone, you have to install a habit. You have to do the things the right way in order for it to be successful. If you're going to say, all right, I'm going to exercise every day, unless you install mechanisms in your day to make that next to impossible to not do, then the chance of success is going to be minimal. You literally have to make sure that you install a habit in your life. And once you do, you're going to start seeing improvements in other facets of your life. I'm currently doing that right now. And at the time of this podcast, I'm on a different eating routine, and I've lost almost 7 pounds. And believe me, I notice it. I mean, 7 pounds isn't a lot for me, but I notice it. I know how I feel. I notice my energy levels. I notice everything. It's made tremendous change. And I'm going to talk more about that down the road as I continue down that journey, because I think once I get to the destined weight that I'm going to get to, and I'm going to get to it because I've installed it as a habit, I will definitely share with you what I've done, how I've done it, who I've worked with, and because it's something a few weeks in, I am absolutely amazed at the results that it's creating so far and how I feel, and it's amazing. But here's something that also Eben likes to talk about a lot, and I want you to write this down, please. If you're driving, pause it or save this episode and listen to it when you get to the office or a place where you can write this down. Whatever you resist persists. If you're resisting something about a change in your life, it will persist. So you need to stop resisting it. I know in other episodes I say whenever you face a challenge or you feel stress in your life, feel it. Don't fight it, feel it. I think Sammy Hagar has a song about that. I'll look it up in the show notes. I'll put a link to it. Buy Sammy's stuff. I love the guy. What's important is in order for you to break old habits and create new ones, you need to install a habit, just like an app. You want to use it. You want this thing to work for you. You have to install it. Make it a part of your life. If you need help with this, fill out the contact information at the bottom of the page at breakfastleadership.com, and I can give you some tips and ideas on what you can do to help out on this, because I want you to be successful. We need you to be successful. Until next time, be well.
Hey, it's Michael again. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. If you're like many people, you're dealing with some significant stress and possibly approaching burnout. I know how you feel. In 2009, my burnout led to a year of worst-case scenarios. I do not want that to happen to you. If you go to breakfastleadership.com, you can register for a free webinar on burnout prevention, as well as get as a free checklist to have successful mornings. Start off each day the right way. Again, that's at breakfastleadership.com. Also, since you are a loyal podcast listener, I'm asking you to like, rate, and review my podcast on iTunes. I look at all the reviews and appreciate your comments, and it helps other potential listeners discover the content I have on the show. I appreciate you, and thanks again for listening.